Welcome to Crafting Better ApostropheCMS Editor Experiences, a series to help developers craft intuitive ApostropheCMS sites that provide a great user experience for content creators. If you've ever had a content manager struggle to find features or feel confused by your interface, this series is for you. We're going to transform confusing admin UI into an intuitive workflow that make your clients happy and reduce your support tickets. Why this matters. In this video, we're focusing on one of the simplest yet most impactful improvements you can make: clear field guidance. We're going to transform confusing, empty fields into helpful, self-explanatory interfaces that reduce training time and support requests. Ever had a content editor ask, well, what does this field mean? You're not alone. How you label fields and guide editors through your ApostropheCMS schemas directly shapes their experience. Clear, consistent field guidance doesn't just reduce errors, it builds trust and confidence for anyone using the CMS. This isn't just about being nice to editors. It's about reducing your support burden and creating sites that clients can actually use independently. ApostropheCMS provides several ways to guide content editors through their work. Help text, which is explanatory text below a field label that provides content or instructions. Placeholder text. This is hint text inside select empty schema fields that suggests the expected input. And field labels. This is the primary identifier for each field, and it's always required. Each component serves a specific purpose in guiding editors through content creation, and we'll walk through each. First, let's look at a problematic user experience that we're trying to solve. We'll start with a typical article schema that creates problems for your content editors. We can see that the only guidance given to the editors is the labels on each field, and those aren't terribly helpful. So we just have image or alt or description. Now let's see what content editors actually experience when using this schema. So you can see generic labels, no guidance, and editors left guessing what goes where and why. I guess this alt field goes with this image field, but I'm not sure really what the image is for. The description field might be about the general article topic. Interesting. When I only put in a small number of characters, it gives me a min error. I wonder how many I need to put in to make that go away. Same thing with the content tabs. Fields where I can see what I'm supposed to enter, but not really why or where the info will be used. This creates frustration, errors, and support tickets. Now, here's the same schema, but this time it's designed with editors in mind. There's help text, there's HTML help text, there's placeholders, and good label usage. So this improved article piece type has the same functionality, but a completely different experience. There's clear labels, contextual help, and smart guidance. Content creators can look at this, know what type of content they should provide without any kind of outside information. Before we dive into the specifics, we should talk about translation. In general, you should plan for internationalization of your interface from the beginning. It's a little extra effort, but easier than doing it after the fact. Plus, it can make changing text that creators find confusing later a little easier by centralizing common strings in one place. Because we're changing strings in our admin UI, we have to make sure our browser has that data by creating a namespace and setting the browser true option. First, let's look at help text, your primary tool for guiding editors. For example, our field for setting the metadata has a help property with a translation string. Switching over to the strings file, we can see that we are telling the content creators what the minimum and maximum number of characters need to be. Also, now they know this is an SEO description for the article. However, sometimes you need more than a simple sentence. For complex guidance, so as not to overwhelm the editor, it's typically easier to use the HTML help property. So for example, we're using the HTML help property for our hero image alt text. Looking at our schema, we're adding our HTML help property here in the alt text, and we're adding a translation string here. Again, looking over at our strings file, you can see that this provides an easy-to-read list for the editor. So when do we want to use HTML help? Use HTML help for step-by-step instructions, formatted lists, or when you need multiple paragraphs. But keep it scannable. Editors don't want to read or won't read walls of text. Now let's add placeholder text, but first, some important caveats. Placeholders have accessibility limitations you need to know about. They disappear when typing begins, so essential information can get lost. They may have insufficient color contrast, making it hard for some users to see. And screen readers handle them inconsistently, so they're not reliable for assistive technology. So basically, never use placeholders as the only way to convey essential information. That said, when used alongside proper help text, placeholders are great for showing examples. Some examples in our current schema is for the URL and CTA button text fields. Notice that the placeholder shows an example, but the essential guidance stays in the help text where it's always accessible. Finally, let's talk about the field labels themselves. They're required, but their quality makes all the difference. Follow these general label guidelines. Be specific. Hero image versus just image indicates purpose. Maintain consistency. Use the same terminology across similar fields. Avoid technical terms. Write from the editor's perspective, not from a fellow developer's perspective. Keep it concise, 1 to 3 words that clearly identify the field. And finally, use sentence case. Capitalize the first word only. Looking at how all these improvements work together from the editor's perspective, each field provides just enough guidance without overwhelming the interface. The editor knows exactly what's expected and why it matters. Here are the essential takeaways for creating helpful field guidance. Help text explains the why. HTML help is used for complex guidance, but keep it scannable. Placeholders can supplement, but never replace proper labels and help text. And we touched on it briefly at the beginning, but in general, it's a good idea to use translation strings. Overall, when implementing field guidance in your ApostropheCMS project, prioritize 1. Clarity. Use concise, straightforward language that avoids technical jargon. 2. Consistency. Maintain a uniform style and tone across all help elements. 3. Context. Provide guidance that anticipates common questions in each specific situation. 4. Localization. Design all text to support multiple language via translation strings. And finally, 5. Accessibility. Ensure guidance is available to all users, including those with assistive technologies. Remember, you configure the schema once, but content managers use it every day. These small improvements in field guidance compound into significantly better experiences and fewer support tickets for you. Thoughtful field guidance transforms confusion into confidence. Your editors will thank you, and your support inbox will stay quieter. If this was useful, hit subscribe for more videos in the series.